Over the weekend, I was able to participate in the CROWZ beta testing. Nobody really knew a whole lot about this game before it was actually going to be tested, so I'm going to explain the experience as accurately as I can. CROWZ is what you get when you take the general game pace of Modern Warfare's ground war with a slightly more hardcore version of the general gunplay, with a nice little coat and graphical feel of Enlisted, and then to top it all off with the frame rate of Battlefield 2042 when you're running the game on an RTX 2070. Welcome to the channel, gamers. My name is Tacti. Thank you for clicking on this video. I cover primarily first-person shooters, and this happens to be one of them. So, if you enjoy the content, hit that thumbs up. Alright, but let's get down to it here and start with the elephant in the room. The game ran like trash. It didn't matter if I was running at 1440p or 1080, it just ran very poorly. 40 to 50 frames when I was away from anybody and nothing was on my screen, and then in the heat of the action, it dropped below 20 frames like all the time. So they've got a lot of work to do in this realm. Now, the game mode that we played was called Blood Zone, which is a more casual mode with tickets and capturing numerous points across the map. Here we only saw one map, and I would probably say, again, it was about the size of a ground war map or one of the maps in Enlisted. Honestly, I really did get more of a modern style Enlisted feeling when playing this game. The map and graphics and hit markers and low time to kill just remind me a lot of Enlisted, which is not a bad thing by any means. But anyways, in their other mode, which we have yet to try, I believe it's going to be something like a battle royale. We don't know the full details here as I'm writing this script. Maybe they'll add more information to it in the near future. But with this game mode, with the actions and explosions all in one spot, the frames really bottomed out. But with that elephant out of the way, let's talk a little bit more about the good, the bad, and the ugly when it came to CROWZ. If you haven't heard of this game before, it's a game that recently was announced, I think in August, and it's currently being developed by a team in South Korea called Royal Crow. So I'm going to assume this is their first game that they're creating as a team. CROWZ will be an online squad-based multiplayer shooter and will have two game modes at the time of this video. Blood Zone, which is essentially a smaller scale ground war like I mentioned before, or at least it's got a similar pacing to that, and that's where you have to capture different points on the map and deplete an enemy's tickets. Like I said previously, the other mode is a battle royale style mode called Squad Operations, where there's a closing area of gas and you've got to go collect resources called Q-on throughout the map. Then you have to extract, I assume. The squads look like they're going to be consisting of 4 players in both modes as far as I'm aware anyway, though I'm not entirely sure how many players will be dropping into the battle royale mode. In the beta test, the Blood Zone player count was 64 players to a server, and the server and our games took a beating. So I'm not sure how feasible that's going to be in the future. Maybe they'll decide to lower the player count a little bit. 64 players at 20 frames per second did seem a bit more crazy than what's considered fun in my opinion. But maybe with smooth gameplay, it's a little bit more exciting, a little bit more enjoyable. I don't know how that's going to work out. They need more testing for sure. But despite the poor frame rate, I found the game to be fun and have some very unique aspects to it. So I really don't think it's going to be just another generic FPS on the market. It's actually got some cool features in it that could be pretty cool if they flesh them out a little bit more and have them make a little bit more sense. And one of these things here is the first person and third person views. In the game right now, you can switch from first person to third person just with one button. In third person, you're able to ADS and zoom into first person, which is helpful. However, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense the way it's implemented now. They're certainly going to have to separate these into specific servers or specific modes. It's going to have to be restricted that you can't go into the third person while you're in a first person mode. It doesn't make any sense. You can just be in third person mode and just take advantage of peeking around the corners while another guy's in first person mode. So I don't know why they have that system in the game. It doesn't work well at all, but it is what it is. They've also got a revive system, sort of, and I really have no idea how this mechanic really works, because sometimes I was able to revive my teammates and get revived, and then sometimes I wasn't. I don't know if maybe it's a headshot thing, where if you get a headshot then you can't get revived, or if you get hit on a certain part of your body then you can't get revived. I don't know, it was hit or miss. Sometimes I would be hit and I would be down and I couldn't be revived at all. I'm just not sure. They're gonna have to flesh that out a little bit more. Maybe it's just because I didn't get a ton of time in the game. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. If it's just a headshot thing, then I suppose that can stay, because I think that's pretty effective and a pretty good way to portray that. I want to talk about gunplay now though, because that's the most important aspect of a game for me. The gunplay for me is pretty decent actually. It's not really a slow or hardcore thing. The game does have some pretty fast movements, and when it comes to running and aiming and reloading, those are done pretty quickly. Overall though, it's a decently hardcore game. You've got to lead your enemies, there's bullet drop, and it's got a pretty low time to kill. Animations to me really weren't that bad, other than sometimes there wasn't a magazine present when I was reloading, but most of the weapons looked decent. Now with the recoil patterns, I'm a pretty big fan here. Most of the weapons have pretty hefty recoil to them, though occasionally the weapon flash would just make it very difficult to see where you're aiming. I think target acquisition is a little bit different, you can't really see the enemies that well, but overall the gunplay was something that I really enjoyed. And like all things, it'd probably be much nicer if it ran a lot smoother. Sounds in general are okay. It's honestly pretty difficult to hear a whole lot of movement when so many explosions are going off and everywhere around you. And the gun sounds are okay as well. I wish they had a little bit more punch to them. They sound a little bit generic, I guess, but hopefully they can spruce that up in the future. Another thing is I don't remember hearing any tanks. I feel like maybe I'm just misremembering, but I did not hear a single tank go by me, and I got destroyed by them a bunch of times, so they should probably boost that up. And to go along with those sounds, the visuals are pretty decent too. I always enjoy the color palette of maps that are nearly at dusk. It's just a nice visual for me. That's just a personal preference, but really I didn't see a whole lot of difference between low, medium, and high, nor could I have really been able to tell because of how choppy everything was. But the weapon models and the character models in the game look really, really nice. I really think the game looks good, but we'll have to see when they do the optimizing because I don't know how much of that graphical fidelity can stay before the game takes a hit. Alright, let's talk about customization a bit. The customization in this game is fantastic, especially character customization and cosmetics. Optics, cannon optics, foregrips, muzzles, stocks, each and everything has a positive and negative response on how the weapon performs. Modern Warfare really set a great standard for how this is represented in games and how each attachment works with each weapon, so you can see the resemblance there. There will also be plenty of skins for these weapons, though we don't get to see anything here, I don't believe. Character customization, though, is really, really nice. You can modify your person, the top, the bottom, the shoes, the vest. Most importantly, though, you can put a flannel on. I love me those flannels. And I know this sort of resembles PUBG a bit here, but I like these visuals much more. Never was a fan of how PUBG looked. One thing, though, I really think needs modified is the HUD. Specifically, these ugly crosshairs. It just screams free-to-play. Those are very ugly and kind of looks like a mobile game, but that's an easy fix. That doesn't take long. I'd also like to see notifiers about the points on the map that your squad leader says to attack. The squad system does allow you to order your squad to go to an objective, but it's not really clear where he's telling you. I believe there's an audio cue, and I believe on the minimap it tells you where to go, but it would be nice to have a little bit of a circle around the point. Something like that. Maybe some arrows, pull a little battlefield in. I'd also change the respawn somehow. I don't know why or when or how, but sometimes you can cancel the wait on respawn or something. It sort of swaps you to another player and then you get another countdown. I really don't know what that's about. Also, some buttons in the menus wouldn't work here and there, especially the respawn menu. So those are kind of some small technical things that need worked out. I'm sure there are others, but I can't think of any more off the top of my head. Overall, though, my final thoughts. I don't think this game is going to be ready soon. This was rough, and they've got a lot of work to do before the game is going to be ready to launch. I believe I read they're expecting a 2021 launch, and I'm gonna have to say that's probably fake news, or it should be. The devs should take their time, work on refining things, and not rush this thing. We know what happens with that, don't we, Dice? But I do think they've got a unique game, and for just announcing this thing back in August out of nowhere, I think they've got an opportunity for a great free-to-play title on the market. They've just got to get it to run on most computers. That's sort of a crucial aspect of the free-to-play idea. You want your product available on as many systems as possible, and for that, you've got to have it optimized to run on these systems, especially low-end systems. But overall, I enjoyed my time even with the low frame rates. Did you guys try it out? What are your thoughts? I'm really looking forward to trying the Battle Royale mode. Those modes really get my heart beating, and I feel like this game is going to offer something a bit more enjoyable than PUBG, and also offer some unique missions during the squad operations. I don't know what that looks like. I'm really hoping for go to this location, extract something, and then you're going to have to fight another squad for that, and then bring it back, and maybe you can, I don't know, the cycle. Let's just say the cycle. The cycle was a really good looter shooter there. I thought that was cool. We're supposed to have a beta for that sometime in the future, but my guess is going to be it's going to be delayed quite a bit, but time will tell. Thanks for stopping by. If you're still here, you're a true hero. I've got to say, after about 3 years of doing this, you guys are amazing with the support you brought here. We're almost at 30,000 subscribers, and that's just amazing to me. Thank you. I'm grateful for all 27,000 of you, even if some of you are just random bot accounts that post dumb links in the comments that nobody falls for. You're all appreciated. I'm really looking to grow the channel the next couple months, just little by little whittle away at my day jobs, and then move to this full time. So if you're into supporting creators like that, feel free to become a member for as little as $3 a month. Hop into the Discord, let me know that you've done so I can give you the appropriate title. Thanks for watching all the way up to here. This wraps this one up. Until the next one, be bold, be courageous, stay tactical.